What's up, everyone? It's DV, and today we're going to be making a DV tree. That's right, we're going to make a mega tree here. So this is actually going to be really cool. If you haven't seen Rio or Nora's trees before, you should definitely check them out. I'm actually going to show a couple clips of them now. So you can see I've got one of Rio's tree here when he built one on my island, and he's actually made some better ones than this. And on top of that, we have Nora's tree here, which is on Izzy's island. So you can see Izzy's tree is crazy. I have to say, I really like both of these trees, but I'm going to make one that's kind of inspired by both. So we'll see how they turn out. So before I begin, if you could do me a solid and hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new. And by the way, tomorrow, that's right, about 24 hours from now, and maybe a little less than 24 hours from now, we're going to be doing the new game launch live stream. So I'm going to be live streaming the new game. Hopefully I'm going to be feeling okay because I am getting a second shot tomorrow. I know. So I might be feeling under the weather because I hear you get fatigued from these shots. So I'm going to be, this whole COVID vaccine kind of stuff is driving me nuts. So I may be a little tired for that live stream, but we'll see. So I'm actually going to be putting the tree on top of this mountain, by the way. So I'm going to be actually taking down the top of this mountain because I think it's just, I like it a lot, but it doesn't really fit with my island. So I want something to be a little bit more like a hillside than an actual mountain. So I'm going to take down the mountain a bit, and we're going to be making the tree on top of this. So we're going to bring this down to probably about, I would say about right here is about where we're going to be going. So basically the snow and the top of this are going away. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of this. And once this is cleared, I'm going to continue from here. All right, this is pretty good height. We're just going to take away some of these, and we're going to eventually make this more of like a cool path up. So it's not going to always look like a cliff to this, but we're not going to worry about this for the trees. Let's just go and fill this in. And then we just need to put a flat area here, and we can clean it up a little bit later. We'll smooth it out. So I'm gonna actually start out with some wood. So let's get our supplies here. Let's go ahead and I always like to put my pickaxe on the first slot here. We're gonna get some wood. And I think what I'm gonna do for the wood, I might go, let's see. So we're going reds. So we're gonna go with regular wood on this. And let's just focus on reds. And then I think I also want to use fences. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. I think we do want to use some fences for some of the branches. So we're going to try that a little bit as well. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start with the wood here. So we're going to make it pretty sizable. So let's go ahead and get our base. I'm pretty much going to just go a little bit outwards like this. And, just going off of a little bit of inspiration of real life, right? So like sometimes, you got those roots that kind of come around and they just kind of squiggle around like this, something like that. And let's go ahead and get our axe out. We don't want the pickaxe, we want an axe. I don't know why I don't have a diamond axe on me. So weird, but these still do one shot for me, so it's okay. All right, so we got a little bit of roots going on here. And now let's go ahead and thicken this up. Now I'm gonna go sideways on most of these. So these roots are actually gonna get swapped out pretty soon to be sideways because it looks a little weird that they're cut off at the top. Because what we want is we want the roots to be like this, right? So you don't wanna have to see the cut off. You wanna see them to be on the sides. So we'll fix that in a bit. But let's go ahead and thicken this up because we want our tree to look correct. So let's make sure we're going upwards on these. We don't want these to be sideways. And then the tree gets a little skinnier at the top. Trunk needs to be pretty sized like this. And then it could go smaller. So, obviously you go up, and we don't need it to be like, it could be hollow inside. Save some wood. It could be hollow like that. So we're going to go up about, I would say about 3 to 4. And so I'm going about 4 up. All right, so that's looking pretty good. So we got to go up about that. So let's get a couple blocks here that we can actually work off of. Okay, so we have enough here. So let's go and not all of them are going to go in. We're just going to kind of do something like this. So a little bit, just the corners are going to go inwards a little bit like this. Something like that would be good. Now, we don't want it to be symmetrical. Like the thing with the tree, it's got to be pretty organic, right? So we don't want it to go symmetrical. And in my case, I kind of want my tree to slant a bit, right? So we don't want it to be perfect. So we do want it to slant a little. So mine's going to kind of go a little bit to the right, but we first need to go left in order to be able to go right. So let's cut this out a little bit. We want to go to the side a bit. We want it to kind of come this way. Let's cut into the sides on this one. And then we're going to slant a little to the left, right? There we go. So we're just kind of bringing this over. And then now we need to actually, now that it's kind of over here, we can slant it back this way. So now we're going to bring it back. It's going to straighten out a little bit, and then we're going to start curving it back over. It's going to do this. And I'm not going to worry about like these grains right now. I'll fix those afterwards. We just want to get our curve going pretty well. So yeah, this needs to be in a little bit more like this. And this is going to come back this way. All right, let's check that. Let's check that and make sure the curves are good. So yeah, we kind of come over this way. We need to fill this in a little bit more. So it looks right. So curve, so it goes this way, and then it's going to go left, and it's going to hang a little bit more. So it's got to curve a little bit more because of the weight, right? So it's got to curve a little bit more so that we can understand that we've got a little bit extra weight here from the branches weighing down. So it's going to be like less of a curve, and then it's got to go tight. So we got to bring this over, and these got to be shorter. We can fix these grains afterwards. Don't worry about them. We can fix them later. And this should curve completely at this point, almost to a point where it's coming back down. So it almost goes sideways. See how it's kind of coming this way and it goes back that way. So to fix this, because I have to keep jumping up here, if you're constantly having to like climb your tree, then you got a problem. So set up a spawn block right here, just jump off or reset, and that way you can get on top again. Now we need to start doing our branches. So what's going to happen is we do want to have a branch come out from here. And so this is going to come out like just a little bit, and then we can have it come down a bit, right? Because it is kind of falling down. We want to keep with that. That's going to be one of our main branches, and it can be thick at first. So you definitely want it to be like a thicker branch, and then it can kind of come down and narrow a bit like that. Something like that would be good. And then next, what happens is from here, you have a branch that's going to actually split off this way. It's going to kind of go up to the side. And you can do this any way you want. You don't have to do it my approach. That's the cool thing about trees. And if you want, what I would actually recommend is Google like different types of trees that you can, design. This one just looks a little weird right here. So let's kind of thicken this branch out a bit. It needs to be thicker so it looks more believable. But you can Google different types of trees and different tree designs and stuff. And that's kind of what I did. This is just kind of like not a weeping willow, but some random tree. So this one's going to go up higher, and we can cut away from it like that. And then we need one that's going to go straight up a bit. And some of these can actually also have split off. So like this branch here can actually have a split. So it doesn't have to be just one like that. And then we're going to have one that's going to actually come up from here, and it's going to go up. Let's add some steps to it. So we got these branches here. And then of course, on the slope here, we do need one branch that's going to actually come backwards. So let's have one of these kind of come back this way so that our canopy can look pretty cool. So we got to have like this nice canopy going on. And let's bring this back down. And to make it thinner appearing, then you just kind of break these up, break the little edges up. So it looks like it goes from thick to narrow. Thicken that up too. Give it a nice base. All right, that's looking pretty cool. So let's check it from a distance, because we do want a good shape from a distance too. Kind of has like a staticky kind of look to it. That looks pretty cool. And then we got, obviously, it's going to be huge. So what's cool about that is in videos, you're going to see like, this massive tree up there. And so we got this one coming down this way. It's going out. We got this one coming up. I kind of think this one should go up a little bit more. So I'm going to extend that out a little bit. And then this one right here should probably go out this way. So we just want to make sure we have a nice even distribution so that we can actually place our branch, so we can place our leaves and stuff. So for this one, let's see where we're facing right here. Okay, so for this one right here, I think we were gonna go out a little bit more, and we can bring it down a bit. This one up here, I was saying we're gonna go this way some more. All right, this should be pretty good. I think we're in good shape here. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna use these fences to kind of make little like smaller branches, kind of like this. So it's gonna lighten up the branch kind of feel to it so that it looks like it has like more limbs. And I don't know if anyone's ever done this before. Hopefully I didn't just get like inspired by someone subconsciously, but it seems like this is a good idea. Seems like it would work. And I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. All right, let's go check this shape real quick. Let's see how it's looking. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty cool. I think this one needs a little bit up here. So let's go back up there and fix this one. Okay, that looks pretty cool. These are actually just the wrong rotation for the blocks. So we're gonna go and clean up that right now. So since our shape for our tree is good, let's go ahead and clean up our grains. So everything should be pointing upwards. And we're going to do the roots of the tree kind of last, because I think that's going to be pretty easy to do. I'm not too worried about side grains like this. No one's going to be looking at it in that detail. All right, that's looking in better shape. So let's go ahead and start on our stuff here. Now you can see it's very pixel, looking, it looks very much like pixel art right now because it doesn't really have much weight here. So what you need to do is you need to make sure things aren't too flat looking. Just kind of bring it out a little bit so it just seems more rounded. So you want to give it some more shape, And then obviously our roots are going to come out more. We're going to do more of this in a bit, but this should feel like thicker. So what I really loved about Nora's tree is that she does scatter her leaves quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at the furthest extents here. So let's just kind of build outwards like this. I'm going to do the same over here just so we can kind of get some visual cues of where we need to go. And we got this one right here. We're just going to go upwards on just a little bit. Go this way. We're going to go this way with it. So bigger is better in this situation, in my opinion, because some trees that I've seen are just way too small. And the bigger the tree, I think the more impressive it looks. I don't know. So by doing this right here, we're basically setting up our boundaries that we can kind of build around. So you can see we're starting to sprout. We're starting to blossom some leaves here. It's gonna be a red tree, dude. Okay, so now it's time to fill it in. So you can see I basically set up the edges here. So you can see I put it a little bit on each branch. And that way it gives us a nice guide. So what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna go too low. So it's gonna go probably around here. It's gonna go up a bit. You're gonna still see some of the branches exposed. So this is still really hard. So, you know, kudos to Rio and Nora for doing such a great job with theirs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start filling this in and going in particular directions. So for example, this side, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build towards this right here. So we're just gonna basically just kind of zigzag it all the way over, and then we're gonna chop it up afterwards. So you can build like a solid mass like this and head towards, basically creating paths, go up a bit. So you're just gonna basically make a boundary, like kind of like a canopy, right? So basically you're gonna do like a sheet, as if you threw like a towel over the tree's branches. That'd be the best example. So this is like the bottom layer or outline of your towel that you threw over the branches. So you see what I'm saying? If you go back up, you'll see what I'm talking about. So see how I'm just kind of outlining it? I'm just kind of going, so this one's going to go down to this one. This one's going to go up to that one, and so on. So we're going to connect the dots basically. So this side is actually going to connect to this side. And you can see if we're missing branches, we can always add more branches. So if you see something that you're like, hey, this would work really good, but I don't have any branches over there, there's no reason you can't add branches. This is your dream. You can actually do whatever you want. It's your imagination. Make what you want. You're not limited by rules or laws in this game, except maybe a few. As long as the game can actually add blocks, I mean, you can do it. All right, now this one is actually going to head over here. So we're going to go down a little bit. We're going to draw our way over. So there we go. We're just kind of drawing all the way over to this side. We're going to make it a little wider so it doesn't look too like cut in. So we don't want the back of the tree to look weird. And then this one's going to actually connect to this top part. And the reason why I'm saying to do this is just a little easier for you to draw your canopy, because it's going to be really intimidating not knowing how to draw your canopy. So let's go to the bottom one here. And this one's going to come across. Let's connect these two real quick because it's pretty easy. And we're going to go down a little bit because we don't want it to be a straight connect. All right, so connecting this all the way back up as well. Going to this edge. You can just spam the blocks too. Just don't worry. You don't have to worry about it. As long as you have the blocks, just spam them. Okay, so we got this. This one's going to actually connect to this side here. So you see, we're just connecting everything so that it's all like a mesh, right? So this one's going to go over, and we want it to rise a little bit, and then we want it to come back down. It's going to go up a bit, and we're going to connect. There we go. And the bottom here is going to also connect back up. So this one's going to go up to this side, and this is going to go down, connect that. And then what else do we need to connect here? These need to connect over here. So let's go fill these in. This is going to connect back down. You just spam it. You just spam your blocks. And then these now need to connect. So now we need to create a mesh. So again, what that means is we did the bottom, right? So now this needs to come back up and over, and it can connect to anywhere at the top here. So see this little arch? We're just basically making a connection here. So we're basically creating a web all the way over, like a dome, kind of like you're preparing for like a mesh for a dome. And this is going to come back down. This comes down here. This can connect over to here. And then this can actually connect through its branches like that. All right, so we got a pretty good mesh going here. All right, so let's go ahead and back up a little bit to see what's happening here. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. What we do need to do is make sure we fill in this side right here, because it's really bare right there. And so what we're gonna do is, you can see we probably need to connect from here. We went kind of straight up. What we need to do is from the bottom as well. So we need to fill in that, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So let's go down here. So what we're talking about is down here, we go kind of straight up, right? So what we want to do is we want to draw this across as well. So this part right here should kind of start coming up, and it draws under and then back up and across. So let's go preview that real quick, see if we corrected it. Yep, so you see how it kind of comes around and then back down. That looks pretty good. So the nice thing about this design too is you can see it just has like this really cool like wave kind of motion. So now what we got to do is we got to fill in the meshes. So we can just kind of randomly do this. There's no logic to it. We just need to randomly fill in. And if in doubt, just do like a little bridge like this, like I was doing. So like connect the dots, right? You know, if you have to do something like this to fill in first, to get that nice curve so you don't look like you're making a box. Just kind of it's almost like you're doing stairs all the way down to a different point. So like this. So say like I'm connecting this, bring it up, and then connect these. And if it starts looking too straight, just kind of add a little bit in between. Should be good. So you can see I'm just kind of doing an outline like that, just to kind of give it some rounded kind of looks, and see that we got a big space or open space here. And like I said, correction is easy for this. So if you have a really big open space, just do steps all the way to the edge that you're going towards. So in this case, I'm going to do stairs up, do something like that. I'm going to turn it a little bit, do another step, turn, do another step, kind of launch it over here, kind of edge it, go up one, and now we got our connection. We could do the same down here. So you can see, maybe I want to get up to there. From here to fill in this big gap, I just do something like this, do a couple up, and then turn turn the direction so that I end up where I want to go. There we go. So see, I just drew that path. And then in the middle, you can do the same thing, right? So just do something like this. It's a sideways stair. So now we just got to this. We do the same thing over here. There we go. And then same for this, we can basically step it up and then we can go over like that. And then we can connect these as well. It just makes it so much easier to fill in afterwards if you're doing these grids. I would consider these like kind of grids like this one right here. To solve this one, I'd probably go out a little bit because it'd be too straight up. It's too sharp of an angle. So what I'd do is I'd kind of go out a little bit more before I stepped up. And then I would step up like this. And there we go. And then I would just go kind of halfway in between. I would separate it. So about halfway, about right here. I would just do a sideways staircase again, connecting to the other outside of it like that. And then do the same thing here. Like that. So it's filling in pretty nicely. If you got something that's weird looking like this, you can just kind of cut that off. We're going to go out a little bit because things are kind of narrow back here. We're just going to kind of move this out and then we're going to reconnect to here. Do it again over here. And I think we have enough grids here. Maybe in the middle here we could do it. But I think we're pretty good to start going down. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. When we get down here, you see how much I've filled in just by doing those grids, right? See, there's a little bit of a gap here, but we're going to fill that in. But this is already looking way better than what I thought. What I do is I just kind of get on the outside here, just kind of continue filling in sideways, whatever works. I'm just spamming blocks. Or, when it comes down to organic stuff, I mean, there's no rhyme or reason for things. In fact, you don't need to completely fill in. If you want to leave some gaps, that's totally okay too. What I also really like about this is you don't have to use thousands and thousands of blocks. And after this, we're going to actually switch in some, we have some red wool as well we're going to swap in as part of polish. We're just going to place some randomly. We're not going to use any pink. No pink. All right, so under our canopy is looking pretty good. We can get rid of some of these. You're filling a little bit here. Just got to add a few more blocks here and there. Get the back enclosed. The nice thing is if you do it from the inside and then sometimes from the outside here, you're going to get a really cool dimensional look because you're not just doing the outside only. So you'll get some nice shadows and stuff inside. We'll fill in that side in a minute. Let's just finish these. Remember, you're not trying to like completely seal it in. So like if you're wondering like there's gaps and stuff, you want those gaps so that you can see the branches and such. Depending on the style, like if you're trying to do an umbrella tree, then that works. All right, let's get this other side done. It's getting really close though. All right, let's check on it. Let's see how we're doing. It's getting dark too, so we got to see. Dude, that looks so cool. Let's add some lights. It's looking really cool. And we got to do the roots and stuff, but let's put some lights in here. Can we use the candle lights? Yeah, let's try some of these. I wonder how these are going to look. All right, let's check. See where we need to put more light. Dude, that looks cool. So I would say we probably need one one further up in the front. Maybe like one right here would be good. Let's see. Yeah, that looks really good. Oh my gosh, this came out way better than I thought. We just got to, clean up the roots and stuff. I'll show you how to clean up the roots real quick. So the roots are a little bit opposite, right? So earlier we want to keep these going up. The roots, you want them to actually go sideways, okay? So you want them to kind of start coming out like this. So you don't want them like these. You want them to be sideways. So let's get our wood out. And what you're going to need to do is you need to actually connect to the side. So you're going to be basically placing up against, you can rotate, but you need to place up against this, not vertically, but sideways like this. The other thing I would recommend is don't just put it on the top of the surface. Make sure you add a little bit of wood on the sides. So like dig up some of these right here and just make sure there's some wood around the edges too, especially in the back right here. You don't have to do it so much on the edges here, especially in the back here. And then you could do a couple on the sides here as well. So it should look like this, just around the edges here. Like that. So you get a little bit of the grain on the ground too. I really love how this turned out. This is really cool. All right, so now all we need to do is add the red wool. So what we're going to do is we're going to get outside of here. But first we need to figure out how to fix our teleporter so we can go straight up. So let's go ahead and actually put another spawn block up here. And then we'll go ahead and reset here so we can get to the top of this. There we go. We can get rid of that now. All right, so we're at the top here. What we're going to do for the red wool here is, see how it's a slightly different color. So we're just going to kind of put it on the, you know, corners here and there. So we're just going to put it like little spots so you can kind of sprinkle it around. Kind of like you're doing like a sprinkles on a cake or something, you know? You're not going to like really try to put it everywhere. You just want to sprinkle it around. Just breaks it up a little bit so it has like just different coloration. You don't have to have any kind of precision, like I said. Just kind of scatter it. And then you end up with something like that. Looks kind of cool. But it's just little details here and there. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And I'll see y'all in the next vid. Peace.